Are you two together? In most languages, this question has two possible answers, yes or no. In Korean, there is a third answer. We're in Sseom. Not dating. Not dating. Texting every day. Going for coffee. Alone every time. Everyone in the friend group already knows. But neither of you has said the word. Because saying the word changes everything. It changes the Chemyeon, who you're now accountable to. It changes the Nunchi, what everyone is now watching for. It changes the hierarchy of the relationship itself. Who gets to define what this is? So neither of you says it. And an entire relationship category exists. In that specific space, between silence and declaration. This is K-logic. And today, we decode the Sseom algorithm. Sseom is one of the most discussed untranslatable Korean words among international K-drama fans, and one of the least understood. The casual translation is talking stage or situationship, English terms that emerged relatively recently to describe a similar ambiguous pre-relationship state. But these English terms describe an absence, the absence of definition, the absence of commitment, often the absence of clarity that one or both parties actually want. Sseom is not an absence. It is a category. In Korean social structure, Sseom is a recognized relationship status, one that friends acknowledge, that carries its own behavioral expectations, and that exists specifically because the Korean social algorithms we have decoded throughout this series, Chemyeon, Nunchi, the hierarchy algorithm, make the transition from not dating to dating a significant event with social consequences that most Western dating cultures do not attach to the equivalent transition. In many Western dating contexts, where talking is informal precisely because the formal status, dating, boyfriend/girlfriend, doesn't carry heavy social machinery. Declaring the relationship mostly affects the two people involved. In Korean social structure, declaring a relationship activates the Chemyeon system. It becomes information that the social network processes that affects how both people are seen, what is expected of them, how their families and friend groups recalibrate around the new social fact. Sseom is the protocol that exists specifically to delay that activation, to allow two people to operate in genuine emotional and physical proximity while keeping the Chemyeon system in standby mode. Protocol 1. The Nunchi negotiation. Sseom is conducted almost entirely through Nunchi, and this is why it is one of the richest narrative devices in Korean drama. Think of the classic K-drama Sseom sequence. The male lead notices the female lead is cold and silently gives her his jacket without comment. She notices, but doesn't acknowledge it directly. Both of them know what just happened. Neither says anything. This is not shyness. It is the Nunchi negotiation, two people communicating romantic interest entirely through actions that can be plausibly deniable if either party needs to retreat. The jacket can be just being nice. The extra side dish can be, I always order too much. The walk to the subway station that's slightly out of the way can be, I was heading that direction anyway. Every gesture in Sseom carries dual meaning. The surface meaning that requires no acknowledgement, and the Nunchi meaning that both parties can read, but neither has confirmed. This is why Sseom can last for weeks or months. Each gesture moves the relationship forward in the Nunchi register while leaving the Chemyeon register untouched. Two people can accumulate significant emotional intimacy, even while maintaining plausible deniability about what that intimacy means. Protocol 2. The Chemyeon threshold. Sseom ends when one of two things happens. Someone confirms it, or someone ends it. Both of these are Chemyeon events. And this is why the transition out of Sseom is often more emotionally fraught in Korean dating culture than the equivalent transition in Western dating. Confirming the relationship. The conversation where one person says directly, I like you, do you want to date, is not just an emotional risk. It is a Chemyeon risk. If the other person says no, the rejection is not private. The friend group that has been watching the Sseom unfold now knows, with social consequences for both parties standing in the group. This is why the confirmation conversation in Korean dating culture often happens through specific protocols designed to minimize Chemyeon exposure. The friend who accidentally reveals one person's feelings to the other, the indirect question that allows the other person to respond without either party having made a direct declaration that could be directly rejected. The hierarchy algorithm also activates here. In many Sseom dynamics, there is an unspoken question of who has more social standing to lose by confirming first, and that calculation, running silently, often determines who makes the first move. Sseom is the protocol that allows two people to build everything except the one thing that carries Chemyeon risk, the declaration itself. If the Sseom algorithm is explaining a Kdrama plot you've watched a dozen times, subscribe to K-Logic. The romance is never just romance. The algorithm is always underneath. Here is what's interesting. English recently developed its own vocabulary for something like Sseom. Talking stage, situationship. These terms entered common usage in English-speaking internet culture within the last several years, describing exactly the ambiguous pre-relationship state that Korean has had a specific word for, embedded in social structure, for much longer. This is not coincidence. It reflects something K-Logic keeps finding. Korean culture often develops precise vocabulary for universal human experiences before other cultures do, because Korean social structure makes the experience more consequential, and consequential things get named. The difference is that in English, situationship is often discussed as a problem, a lack of clarity that one or both people should resolve. The cultural framing carries mild judgment. People should communicate more directly. Situationships are immature. Ghosting culture is bad. Sseom carries less of this judgment in Korean cultural framing, because Korean social structure has built Sseom as a legitimate, recognized stage with its own social rules, rather than as a failure to reach the real stage of dating. The international viewer who watches a K-drama Sseom storyline and feels genuine tension isn't just enjoying romantic plot mechanics. They're recognizing, often for the first time with this much precision, an experience their own culture has but is not given the same legitimacy or vocabulary to. Sseom names something universal. Korea just built the social infrastructure around it first. Every culture has the experience Sseom names. The proximity that means something but hasn't been confirmed. The gestures that carry weight neither person has acknowledged. The friend group that knows before either of the two people involved has said anything out loud. What Korean culture did, through the same social precision that produced Chemyeon, Nunchi, and the hierarchy algorithm, was build a recognized category for this experience. Not a failure state, not a problem to be resolved. A space, with its own rules, where two people can exist together before either of them has to risk the Chemyeon cost of naming it. For the K-drama viewer who has felt the specific tension of a Sseom storyline, the unbearable will the won't they that somehow feels different from Western romantic tension, the K-Logic read explains why. You weren't just watching two people who liked each other. You were watching two people running the Nunchi negotiation, building Jong while keeping Chemyeon in standby, inside a relationship category that your own language doesn't quite have a word for, but your own life almost certainly has experienced. The jacket given without comment. The extra side dish. The walk that was slightly out of the way. Sseom was always there. Korea just gave it a name. If the Sseom algorithm decoded a K-drama moment, or a moment from your own life, hit like and subscribe to K-Logic. The romance is never just romance. The algorithm is always underneath. K-Logic will continue decoding the invisible systems that make Korea one of the most logically fascinating societies on the planet. Because the source code was always there. You just needed the word for it.